week 4 of the show. Been on fire lately, people. If you're not following my picks, you're making a lot of money. It's too bad. So maybe you can get on track now, which is probably a bad omen for me. But let's see what happens. The last 3 weeks, which actually the first 3 weeks that I've been doing this, 11-6. 3-2 the first week, 3-2 the second week, plus a Thursday night game. I typically don't like Thursday night games or Monday night games, but I happen to like one during that week. And then last week I was 4-2. I threw in New England at the last minute and paid dearly for it because they got crushed. Well, they didn't actually get crushed. They only lost 16-0, but I paid for that one dearly. But either way, I still ended up 4-2. This week I don't like too much, but let's start with the week in general anyway, in sports, entertainment, whatever. You had the Kardashian robbery this week, which I thought was a complete joke. It happened at 3 a.m. There was no security around at her hotel. They stole, I don't know what, $13 million in jewelry. I don't know who carries around that much jewelry. Even if you have that kind of money, what are you doing with that kind of jewelry anyway? I have no idea. I guess if you have it, I guess. I don't know. It's just not me. I don't wear any jewelry at all. I have no tattoos, so I don't get that whole thing. But whatever. Do what you gotta do. And France has, I believe, the highest of any country of video cameras all over the place, whether it be on the street, hotels, or whatever. I think they're the country with the most cameras around. So how 5 guys would have got in with ski masks into a hotel that had no cameras? You're telling me that hotel had no cameras? Now I don't know what's happened since. I just remember the beginning of the story, and I haven't followed it through the week. So if something has happened by now, I have no idea. So I could be way off on this as usual. But the whole thing stunk to high hell for me. The second story was, which I didn't think was a story at all, was Odell Beckham Jr. Everyone was talking about him being such a crybaby. Who really cares? The bigger story to me was the Vikings beat the Giants, which is, my motto has always been chirp while you can, which I didn't do too much of this week, even though I have my family is loaded with Giants fans. Sorry, fellas. Took one from you. And Odell Beckham became the bigger story, so whatever. I mean, we live over here on the East Coast, so of course over here it would be a bigger story. The last story you actually might be surprised about, that I was a little bit infuriated by. There was an author whose name was Elena Ferrante, which was an alias. She didn't want to be known. She wrote, I think, 3 or 4 novels. She's from Italy, wrote 3 or 4 novels. Was under an assumed name because she didn't want any of the public persona to go with it, and somebody had just had to know who this person was, and the person that outed her, whose name was Claudio Gatti, not Gotti with an O, Gotti with an A, Gatti, and her real name is Anita Raja. So unfortunately, this guy was doing a lot of investigating and figured out through like a money trail. Every time a book came out, this woman who he happened to know, who claimed to be Elena's publicist, Anita Raja, was claiming to be Elena's publicist. Meanwhile, Anita was actually the real author. She was not the publicist. She was actually the real author of, Elena. So Claudio figured out that every time a book came out, Anita would buy a new house. So by the time the 3rd book came out, she bought the 3rd house. I believe it was in Tuscany, same place that Jerry Seinfeld bought his house, or his condo, whatever. Not, if you follow Seinfeld. So anyway, he figured it out, and he outed her. And I think that in itself should be a crime. And a lot of people are saying it's a male outing a female, and say whatever you want about it. The whole outing thing was just horrible. If she didn't want to be known, that's really, it's up to her. as someone who is still kind of an artist and loves art in all of its forms, I think if somebody wants to remain anonymous, if I could actually talk this week, if they want to remain anonymous, why not let them be anonymous, especially, if they're not comfortable being in the public spotlight. I think it's completely up to them. Any of you that are artists out there have any opinion on this, I'd love to hear from you. That would be great. Lastly, let's get on to the Week 5 NFL picks. I only have 3 of them for you this week. Last week I had 6. The 2 weeks I had 5. This week I only have 3. The first game is going to be the Philadelphia game. I like Philadelphia -3. I don't even remember who the heck they're playing. Philadelphia is going to be -3 over Detroit. They're playing in Detroit. This is more about Philadelphia's defense than it is about their offense. Their defense should be able to control Detroit in Detroit. And I like them in this game, especially at -3. I think this game actually went off at Philadelphia -1, so the line has actually gone up for them. The next game I like is Denver -4. They are at home, and they are playing Atlanta. And once again, this is more about Denver's defense than it is about Atlanta's offense. And Atlanta really doesn't have a defense either. So Denver's defense should be able to keep Atlanta's offense in check. And Denver's offense should be able to put up enough points at -4 to be able to cover that. And then the last game I like is the over in the San Diego Raider game, which is 50.5. And again, in the Philadelphia game at -3, buy it down to -2.5 or down to -2 or even to -1. Denver, the same thing. Buy -4 down to -3 or even 2.5 if you can do that. And then the San Diego Raider game over 50.5. Buy that down to 50 or even 49.5. Every point that you can buy down is really a huge buy. If you want 2 other games, I will throw in the Giants getting 7.5, and I will throw in the Jets at +10, but they are not part of the picks. If you're looking for a couple other games to bet, the Giant game is tonight, and the Jet game should be at 1 o'clock. So I hope you guys had a good week. I am desperately trying to do an update on either Wednesday or Thursday. It just has not been able to work out so far. Once again, I will try. I can't even make any promises anymore because it just doesn't work out. But I hope you guys had a good week, and we will talk to you soon. Good luck, people. Win a lot of money. Go get them.